man, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks, Bob, for having me here.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a software engineer at Robert Half,
Okay.
and I'm mainly focused on the website for them, for the internal people that works for them.
Okay. And when you say website, what do you focus on front end, back end?
I do both.
You do
I
both.
do full stack.
You're full stack.
Yeah.
Great. And what kind of technology do you use?
So I work with Salesforce, and they have their own Salesforce language, and their language is similar to Java.
I see.
Yeah, Java. But we also use HTML, right? HTML. Use JavaScript. Use we also and CSS. Also use CSS.
I see.
Yeah.
And what kind of applications do you build for these internal people?
So we customize like our own, like we make the application Salesforce, right, to make it easier for them to find their customers, right, find the right people for those people, for the customers,
Okay.
right, and and stuff like that.
Got it.
Yeah.
What is Robert Half? What do they do?
So they're like the middleman pretty much for those other company that work with them, right?
Yeah.
So, and they also get people resume, and then and find the best place for that person to go to. Which company is like the best spot for them to go to?
Okay.
So yeah, stuff like that.
What do you spend most of your time on like a day-to-day basis?
So we have team meetings.
Okay.
To discuss what we're working on, what we completed, and what are we gonna work on today.
Okay.
Right, and then we just start doing our work. Once we got our ticket, we got our job. We gotta give a time limit on when we're gonna finish that job, right? Because and mainly that, and you would just communicate with your team. You work with your team. Sometimes I work with my team, after that daily meeting, I would just like meet up with my other team, focusing on like different type of projects that we're working on. So yeah.
How long have you been working there?
3 years. I've been there for 3 years now.
Is that your first job out of college?
Yeah,
that
was my first job. Yeah.
Great. Let's talk about your education, how you got there. First of all, what is your ethnicity?
Oh, I'm Cambodian. I was born and raised in Cambodia.
Oh, really?
Moved here when I was 11.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Let's talk about your schooling. What did you major in college?
I was majoring in software engineer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where did you go for college?
I went for community college.
Okay.
I went to community college, then I went to San Jose State.
So you started at community college for 2 years and then transferred to a 4-year program. Got it. All right. And you major in software engineering.
Yeah.
I guess computer science.
Yeah.
And all right. So what were some of the courses that really helped you with your job right now?
The courses that mainly help in my field right now is data structure and algorithm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when did you get that first taste of programming?
In community college, when I was I think I was around like 19 or 20.
Okay.
Yeah, by the time I start having the taste of it,
I see.
Yeah.
And how did you feel at that time? And did you like it, or what happened?
It's I wish I knew it earlier, because I met a lot of people that in the class, in my class, and they are ahead of me, and they're younger than me, right? And I asked them, how did you do that? But they told me, they took like separate class, like in when they're younger, they took like, I don't know, they have like tutors.
I see.
Yeah, and I was like, and I feel like I was behind, right? And so I wish they taught me sooner in like high school because it took me a long time to catch up with those people, because I was like, oh my god, what's going on, like what are they talking about? It's like a totally another language, pretty much. Yeah,
I see. And I guess you like it, that's why you continue on and pursue this major and this career path. But what did you like about programming?
I love how they have different problems that you get to solve, right?
Okay.
And once you accomplish it, like once you complete that, you solve that problem,
Yeah.
you feel like good about yourself, You're like, oh man, I did this. I can't believe I am able to solve this problem,
Right.
So it's not the same thing over and over and over, make you like boring, like it's I feel like it's boring if you just keep doing the same thing and you're not growing, pretty much.
Right.
And people saying like you have to, in order for you to like be more happy, or you have to grow, right? You can't just do the same thing, get too comfortable, stuff like that. That for me, I love it, but I'm sure some people like to be comfortable, but for me, I love the challenge. It's fun. It's like a video game. You go to the next level,
I see.
Yeah.
And programming is always kind of the new challenge.
Yeah.
No 2 days are the same, basically, right?
Yeah.
Got it. Was having a college degree or a good GPA important to get a job as a software engineer? What's your opinion?
I think it's important. I think it's important. It's good on your resume, right? If you have it, but you also need to make sure you know your stuff,
right?
Because some people, they just serve by it, and they have struggle when the interview comes, right? When the job interview comes, they struggle, because who knows? Maybe they got too much help, right? Or they just doing it for the money, not the joy, of doing it. It's fun for me, but you have to know. So like for me, I kept telling myself, oh man, this is fun. I'm gonna keep doing it, and like building all these technologies, it's really fun, entertaining to me.
What does it take to get a job as a software engineer, in your opinion?
I don't think it's too hard I don't think it's too hard. You just need to understand the data structure and the algorithm. So because in the interview, they're gonna ask you who are you? Pretty much they want to know your personality, right? Okay. Like are you a team person, right? Or you just like to work by yourself or something like that. And then sometimes they give you coding, right? For the first interview. Depends, If they like you, they give you the code. Like for me, I got an interview on that day because my boss, he likes me. Like when he asked me about myself, right? Like what type of person am I? Like what's my GPA? Right. So they do ask about the GPA thing. That's why I say it's good to have it, Okay. And so he interviewed me, and then he gave me a coding problem right on the spot.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So you really need to understand like the array, like all that stuff, like some in order to pass the interview. Depending on different type of company, some company like the big company like Google, those ones are more challenging. That means you have to put more work in that to solve that problem. And they also have some resources like hackathon where you can practice those problems to get better, like at the skill. Got it. Yeah.
Did they ask you to show like a portfolio of your prior work or what you did in school? Did you have to do that?
Yeah, you show them the project, what project you did before, right? And, and then they ask you, okay, what did you guys use? What technology did you use?
I see.
And what did you do in that project?
Right.
And what are the features, right? And you just explain the features, but mainly I think they're focusing on like what did you do in that project and how did you use. They just ask you about it deeper in it.
How important were those projects in your opinion? I mean, not every subject has a project, I think, but computer engineering or computer science definitely has projects. how important are those projects and for in terms of giving you the confidence, the experience, and also the ability to get a job?
It's very, very important.
Okay.
You really need to know what you're doing, right?
Okay.
I met a lot of people who's like doing their own project, they like build their own website, right? Like
Yeah.
for fun, like
Right.
they're like it looks like they're like their own website for fun, like a profile page or something, right?
Yeah.
And those people, they get a job real quick
Right.
because they know when someone asks them the question, they know, okay, the step by step how they did it, right? So
Right.
they can explain it,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So it's good to like do those projects,
Yeah.
right? Especially the like your sub project, and like you can use YouTube to get started, like get or like get help, like to tutors to help you get started, and yeah. So it's very important to know those projects. Like I feel like I got help a lot when like I understand more when I'm doing those senior projects, right? And like those software engineering projects that they gave us, and it's like exactly how it is at work. Like you work in a team, right? And then you pick, like you work front end or back end, and like you do your work and trying to hook it together, connect it, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Some people are intimidated by computer science, and they tend to think it's not for them or it's too hard. Is it really that hard?
No, it's easy. I think it's easier than Spanish, learning Spanish, because I took Spanish and I'm still like struggling, right? It's easy. It's easier, like because in the software language, if you know one of them, you can understand other languages. Right. They just use a little bit different syntax.
Right.
It's like if you know, I don't know. It's just different syntax. That's all you need to know, right? And you can look that up. It's very simple. And I always recommend my friends who's doing other engineering work, right? They don't get the same perks as us, and it's more challenging for them. Like they have to go more schooling and stuff. So I think our field is really good. Like it's not too hard. Like I'm sure, like, and then the more like you get, like the more you need to learn the easy part first. So like climbing a ladder, don't go straight to the complex part, right? Complicated part, like then you're gonna get lost and you're gonna be like, oh man, it's too hard for me, That's why like you have to start like low and then you go higher.
Do you have to be really good at math to become a good software engineer?
It depends, right? It depends because if you want to go to like if you want to like learn about machine learning and stuff like that, I think machine learning is gonna be the future, and you really need to know your math because they use a lot of math in there. But some software stuff, like some jobs, like in our field, like we don't use much math. We use some, but not like the higher like higher level, like the calculus. We use like calculus 1 or 2 or 3. We don't use much of those, like differentiate and all that.
A lot of this industry, it's sort of dominated by men or males, right? And there are not enough women. You think women can be good software engineers as well?
No, of course. My lead, she's a woman, and she's she's good. Both I have before I got my job, I have two people that been there and who've been like like guiding me into and they both are women and they're pretty good.
Wow,
they know their stuff,
So women shouldn't be afraid of
no
computer engineering at all.
No.
They can do a good job as well.
No. Yeah, they can do. Yeah.
Wonderful. From your experience, for a junior software engineer, what kind of salary range can they get? Entry level.
Right now I think around 70,000,
Okay.
but up to like over $200,000.
That's a big range.
Yeah.
Depending
It's
on, I
big,
guess, which
depending on
country you
yeah,
work at.
Yeah.
Which
that's
company,
it.
right?
Yeah, which company you work at, right?
Like the Google, the Facebook, it probably
Exactly.
pays more.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a huge
But
range.
a lot more competitive to get in.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. So you really need to know, but yeah, but you can, you start with 70 and then you go up from there.
Got it. How do you like your job?
I love my job, like
Okay.
the flexibility.
Okay.
It's flexible, like.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean is that I don't have to come in at any time, right? Like I can go in any time I want. They're like, for example, like my for example, like my meetings, like I usually like to go before my meetings, and my meeting usually start at 10. I would go like at 9 and like 9 or something, right?
Right.
But but sometimes I can do the meeting on my phone or my laptop at home.
Yeah.
Like my boss won't mind.
Right.
Or like if the traffic's too crazy, I would just tell my team, hey, traffic is 2 hours and I'm not gonna go there right now. I'm gonna be stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather stay home and work on my project while I'm stuck in traffic for 2 hours.
Right.
And they're okay with that.
Right.
You can work remote. That's what I love about it.
Right.
You can go to another country and work.
Right. Right. Not every job can do that.
Yeah, not every job can do that.
Right.
That's
special.
That's how special it is in software engineering field.
What do you think about the current demand or future demand for software engineering? More and more jobs or less jobs?
No, it's gonna keep growing.
Okay,
It's
why is
gonna
that?
keep growing because more technologies are coming, right?
Okay.
A lot of technologies are coming.
Yeah.
And so people they're gonna need people to work. Right now, like a lot of companies they looking for people to work for them.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a lot of, they need a lot of software engineering to work for them right now. And then like if people leave their job, they can find another job easy. As long as you know your stuff, right?
Got it.
Yeah.
As long as you know your stuff, there are plenty of jobs waiting for you.
Yeah, exactly.
If I have young kids or other parents are watching this that have young kids, how soon should they, get their kids started in technology or computer science? What do you think?
I think they can start. They should start in like high school. I think maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, the high school year, or even 7th or 8th grade.
Middle school.
Yeah, middle school.
Yeah.
Like the early, the better. I feel like because
early the better. Okay.
yeah, so they can see how it is, and because it's like teaching them another language.
Yeah.
Like when you're younger, right, and you're learning a new language, it's much easier than when you're older.
Right.
Because you adapt it quicker.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I feel like it's the earlier the better.
And any particular language they should get started with?
Python. They can start with Python. Python is I feel like Python is easier to understand,
Right.
And you want the easiest language for them. You
Right.
don't want them to start off with the hard one. They're gonna be like, oh man, it's too hard for me. I'm done.
Right.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So you give them Python, and Python is the language is so popular right now. Like if you know Python, it's great because AI and stuff like machine learning, they use Python.
Yeah.
So it's great to start off at Python.
So back in college, did you know you wanted to become a software engineer, or how did that come about? Did someone give you advice on this?
Yeah. So for me, growing up, I always loved technology. Computers, video games, and I always want to learn about computers.
Okay.
Like I have a friend who's really good computer, and then I was like, okay, this is cool. Like I really need to know this stuff. And then later on, my cousin, he told me about this software engineering field, and I was like, oh man, I'm so interested. I need to learn this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I got in there.
Oh,
field.
okay.
Yeah.
So it can come from yourself.
Yeah.
I see.
For
Right.
myself and then people around me. pretty
People
much.
around you. Yeah. And if you could go back and start it, all over, would you have done anything differently to
Yeah.
prepare yourself even better for your job now?
Yeah, I would have I would have learned it sooner.
Learn
right?
sooner?
Look into the languages, right? Trying to find more resource about it.
Mm-hmm.
So watch tutorial videos, right?
Mhm.
Build my own website. Because back then I would have had more time
Right.
to do all these stuff, right?
Right.
Right, instead of wasting time playing video games. But and I would have done that, or waste time, not waste time, but do other stuff, but focus more on the computer science stuff, and get better at it.
Yeah. Well, this has been awesome, and I hope the viewers found it useful. I'm sure they do. And thank you so much again for spending the time with me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.